Welcome to Story Live, and our guest today is the wonderful Debbie Atkins. Debbie, welcome to.
Thank you, Rachel.
And thank you for joining us. Debbie, what I always like to do is to start off exploring how we met. Now, we met probably very soon after you came into the Athena network, didn't we?
Yeah, it was, yes.
Which is how long ago now?
That is now 7 years ago. Sorry, I've got the dog
barking.
Hang on.
That's okay. Okay. We can manage over barking dogs.
Manage the barking. That is now over 7 years ago. I became a member for a year, and then I bought the franchise and became a regional director.
And that's when we met, wasn't it? When you became a regional.
Yes, yeah.
At that time was also a regional director. Yeah.
So, yeah.
The Athena Network is the UK's leading network for women in business, and each of the regions, for the listeners, is led by a regional director who all meet together 4 times a year for a development day, and that's how we met, wasn't it?
I know, it's fantastic. And Rachel very kindly kind of took me under her wing and looked after me as a new regional director and learning the ropes of everything. So yeah, always very grateful and appreciative.
You're very welcome. Look how you've flown, Debbie. So you now manage 6 or 7 groups?
Six groups.
In the Reading area?
Yeah, Reading and Henley, yep.
Yeah, okay. And tell us, Debbie, what else it is you do, because I know you've got 3 sort of streams to your overall business, haven't you? And tell us what they are and how you came to be doing it, really.
It was, well, the three strings are, there's a fitness side from the point of view of Nordic Walking, health and well-being, and also what you're on the outside. It's also very important to be on the inside. So involved in a business that provides supplements. It's all that sort of nutrition and giving that body a boost when maybe our foods aren't enough for us because of actually the stresses we're putting on our lives. So there's those 3 sort of networking, fitness and supplements.
So which came first, Debbie, of those 3?
The fitness side actually came first. Okay. So escaped corporate life. And I've used the term, my heart had gone out of it as much as I loved the kind of the business and the company, but actually I was ready to go. And it had been a moment with a mum at hockey, and she'd said about doing a personal training qualification. And I thought, oh, that sounds exciting. So redundancy then came up for our team, and I was out that door.
Okay.
And straight into training, and then got involved in Nordic Walking through my level 3 training. And it was another light bulb moment, and it was just it's just gone from there. So it was the fitness side, and then a friend, neighbour and client said about Athena. Yeah. So I then joined Athena and came a member initially. Just as a member. Nothing to do with networking. What's this whole new world opened up, and it was like, wow. I remember walking in, and it was Steph and Juliet as the regional directors, and it was like, golly, everyone was so friendly, welcoming. So immediate join, and they spoke about this head office sort of thing, and I just thought they got paid by head office, hadn't a clue it's a franchise. And they decided to step back as being regional directors. They're both still members, and I knew it was a yes to buy the franchise a year later. Wow. And that was a leap of
but you do a lot of those.
Yeah, I do a lot. I've just
I know you're going to tell us about one in a minute. But tell us a bit about Nordic Walking, because I think a lot of people still don't know what it is, or they don't understand the difference that the walking with poles makes. So
okay. The main difference is you've got an upper body workout and a lower body workout, and you're using 90% of your skeletal muscles. So because you are swinging, so you're walking with 2 poles, and actually everything about it is from behind. So you're propelling yourself forward. So you're opening up your chest, getting more oxygen in. And also from a mobility point of view, because of the swing from the arm, you're actually working your lymphatic system brilliantly. So it's upper body workout, lower body workout. You burn more calories than normal walking. And every time you plant your pole is a resistant piece of exercise. So for someone that couldn't lift weights, maybe because of an operation or something like that, from a bone density point of view, it's really important to maintain our, keep increasing our bone density especially as we get older. because it's on a natural decline. And therefore that extra resistance, apart from the foot as well as with the pole, helps with bone density.
Okay, I know the learning thing for me because I've been on 2 of your walks now, haven't I? But the very first time, and you had us all going up, you had us all with our poles, and we were going up just a very, very gentle incline. And then you said, right, now lift your poles. And we all visibly, and I could feel that we all slowed down. And yet I found that amazing because I have no concept that actually the poles were making us go faster than we normally would walk. So there was that as well, I think. That
the rate of perceived exertion is less, but what you're actually doing, so it feels easy, but actually you're using so much more energy. And the great thing is, especially for myself, is you can walk and talk.
Yes.
Whereas for me, running and talking doesn't quite come into that category.
No, not quite the same way.
Not quite the same.
No.
And it naturally fits into networking as well, because you're walking and talking, you're chatting, you're putting the world to rights, and it just all fits together beautifully.
Brilliant. So tell us about, don't necessarily tell us the brand, but tell us a bit how you came into the product.
Product was because of a I suppose health issue from the point of view of me and circulation. I've got heart and stroke on both sides of my family, and I might be a personal trainer, but actually still got to look after myself, and I spend a lot of effort looking after myself in that respect. And got introduced to this product, started using it, then realized there were sort of other products, and I'd gone through so many supplements. I'd sent the family through so many supplements. Some had been kind of accepted and quite a lot had been rejected. And it wasn't just about the supplement, it was about the company, that their ethics and their values and what they were about and how they scientifically test, and everything is tested from the product coming in, testing and going out. So it works within the body. And I didn't realize, if you've heard the term network marketing or multi-level marketing, that again, a bit like networking, was like, well, what's this? That was another universe that's opened up for me. And I thought, oh, actually, I can get the products cheaper. So I thought, oh, that's good. So I started doing that, and then it's just gone on from there.
So do you now manage a team of people? Is that because that
is my aim? I've got a few in my team, but actually for me to step up and lead people, then that's what my aim is now. So, you know, I've just been, my aim is for wanting people to realize that we don't have to feel sort of lethargic. We can have good energy, and just actually sometimes how sick we do feel, but without realizing it, because it becomes the norm. And that is, you know, for someone to turn around and say, oh, I feel so much better, I can do this, life's so much easier. Yeah, that's where the priceless bit is in respect to what it is. Same with from us walking or networking. All the 3 businesses is about us improving ourselves to what we want to do.
Yeah, absolutely, because on the one level they could almost look to be 3 completely disconnected businesses. Actually, they're not.
No,
absolutely not. They are all about helping people improve and step up, and you model that amazingly well. That's what you want for your clients across the 3 businesses, isn't it?
And the more that happens, and that's why I want to, for myself personally, is to step up more into this business, is because of actually how it can help people, and seeing that. That is just great.
But do you have a big mission? Do you have a number of people in mind that you want to have somehow inspired, reached, albeit by, you know, second hand? So if you help me step up and I help somebody else step up, that still has come from you, kind of thing?
If you had asked me probably even a few months ago, I would have kind of said hundreds, and if I was feeling really brave, maybe going into thousands. But now, actually, no, this is thousands, only increasing into tens of thousands.
Okay, and I know, Debbie, that part of the reason for that real recent whoosh is embedded in the story that you're going to tell us, isn't it? So, which is a very recent story. So, you know, please go ahead and share this story.
So a few weeks ago, within the team, the network marketing team that I'm within, there was a 7-day challenge that an external company was doing, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I could do that." It was in the evenings. I thought, oh yeah, that works, because it was in America, so it's Pacific time. I thought, yes, I can do that, and I probably did 3 or 4 of the 7 days. And the speakers that were on there, from a variety of backgrounds and ages and everything, it was just like, and areas of life as well, whether it was a social media, whether it was leadership, personal transformation, all areas of business. And it was just like, yeah, I really like that. And then there was one night, I think it was supposedly the final night, and there were a couple of speakers there, and the first one resonated with me. Just, I don't know, just hit the button. I cannot remember what he said, but it was about the finance, and it's about that sort of multiplication and thinking big. And I thought, yes. And there was the offer that if you wanted his extra training program, to buy a ticket. Now, I was in it for the freebie thing, thinking, great, that's all I do, no problem. I mean, I was writing so many notes, talk about RSI on the hand of writing. And I thought, oh, actually, I could get a ticket. So the tickets started at $300 or just under, and then a VIP ticket was just over I think it was like $1,200, so about £1,000. So that was kind of first seed. Second seed was another gentleman, 73-year-old, and he's written 86 books, and he's still working, and he still loves life. His father, who's just passed, he was 98, I think he retired about 95, and it was just that inspiration. He said, if you stop, you kind of go backwards. So retirement it's making your business life. There's not a work-life balance. It's your life because you love it so much. And I just thought, I'm going to get more of that on these 3 days. It was the weekend. Yep. Was I doing a lot? Strangely enough, during this time, no. I thought, yeah, I can do it between my Nordic walking and my work that I do, strength and conditioning, on a Saturday morning. Okay, because it's Pacific time. Okay, I can do this. So I didn't just press the first ticket. I then pressed the VIP ticket.
Wow.
And that was another moment.
Yeah. So what were they offering for you? What was the difference between the VIP ticket and the general ticket?
The differences are the training programs that we can. So we've had the training. It was 3 days of training I've just done. We've had that training, but then there were the programs after it that we then get access to. Okay. So it's like I suppose an upsell in that respect. But to me, it was part of it was the stepping out the comfort zone of pressing that. And it was making that stretch, which is what I'm wanting to do. But it was like, how do I do it? Okay, well, I can press VIP. And it really was, I pressed buy and thought, oh my goodness, what have I done? And then I thought, no, it's going to be fine. Trust the universe. I haven't bought £1,000 ticket. That's just,
yeah.
And the last weekend I've spent 35 hours on Zoom.
Wow.
And so, yeah, but it has zoomed by in that respect. And there were 12 other from the team that were on that call, and so we had a WhatsApp chat, sort of keeping us going with, "You still awake?" and everything else, and that was just wonderful. And there was also the speaking competition that I got access to.
Right. Oh, tell us about that.
So we got extra training from a couple of gentlemen who are the sort of like world leaders in speaking within the sort of within network marketing. And from that, we were then asked to do a 3-minute 2-camera short story, because it's about stories. I mean, Rachel, everything you can, it was like stories. Rachel. You are so in the right arena in the respect of what you're doing and your talent. So and you had to do 3 minutes, so it was to submit it. So I did it, and they were really, really kind to us. They were saying, just do it. Don't worry about whether you've got a great camera, what your background is. We just want to hear your story. So I thought, right, okay, did it. I did a few practice runs, and then it was like, nope, that's going. it's got to go, or else I'll be going into perfectionist and stop mode. And I did, and I got into the top 25. So it went 25, then down to the top 10, and the top 10 then were presenting their story on the stage. So some actually were in Las Vegas, and some were, some had actually, I think they're obviously local, so to speak. And then the rest were on Zoom in that respect. And we learned so much because the two gentlemen were then critiquing their stories. So yeah, really proud to get into the top 25. When I saw my name, it was like...
Yeah, and it would have been so easy, Debbie, wouldn't it? And I know this from, obviously, by the time I'm working with a client, they have made that decision. They are going to get out there and speak. But it's so easy not to make that decision, to get out there and share your story. And you could have so easily talked yourself out of it and thought, oh, what's the point? There's going to be so many entries. What are the chances? And if you'd not made it to the top 25, you would have done it. You would have entered. And
that's also what they said, and they really emphasized that, is they said some people didn't bother putting a story in. So they might have gone to the training, listened in on the training, but they still didn't do the story. And so that was about investing in yourself, investing in your personal growth, that transformation, bravery. In fact, Jacqueline sent me a quote. I texted her on Sunday when I was going into the next stage of stepping out of comfort zone. And she sent me a text back saying, everything you ever wanted is sitting on the other side of fear.
Ooh.
And that's by George Adair.
Nice.
And actually it's so true, because it was the fear of pressing buy for the VIP ticket, but I did it. And this is what it's created. The fear of doing the speaking, and that's what it's created. And I'm now doing an accelerated program for a whole year.
Fabulous.
So I pressed buy again.
Yeah. And what I love about that, Debbie, is that, you know, I don't know about you, but if I paid the £300, I might have let myself off the hook for getting out the comfort zone. But when you've invested as much as you have, why would you do that and not take the challenges? It just kind of, the higher the investment, the more the motivation.
And it is, and the fact, and that's even worked this time, because our first assignment, so we had, like, the last day was a sort of breakout lunch sort of thing into another Zoom room for the people that had currently sort of bought the next program. And they said, right, what you need to do is message your CEO of your network marketing, multi-level marketing company, and tell them, because that works on levels, what level you're going to be. So within my company, I'm pretty much at the lowest level. You know, I've just been fine. I use the products myself, love them and everything else, but it's getting that message out. And so I then Facebook messaged Dan and said, right, and this is what level I am. And it was like, then press send again. Okay. But I've done it. And he replied, as he always does, because that's the type of person he is. That's why I'm investing in that business, because of who he is and what he set up decades ago. So yeah.
Okay, so what's your, because what I'd like to my visitors to do is to share a story with learning. What's the learning you would like any listeners to take from that story you've just told?
I would say listen to the words of everything you have ever wanted is sitting on the other side of fear. Our personal growth and development, that's personal whether you're in business or whether you don't have a business, just normal life is so important. And it is about overcoming those fears and doing it. I've learned that, you know, being perfect and trying to do things perfectly just stops one doing things. You just procrastinate. And what they sort of taught us was, if you have a real why, you know, why you're doing something, the how will just come along. So how they set up, they knew that they had to take this event online because of COVID. And the decision they made was towards the end of September. Now this event was only a couple of months later. What they set up was almost impossible. You would have said, well, how are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? No, they announced it to the world. One half of the partnership was doing the promoting, and the other half she was, wow, the brains behind it, and yeah, biggest inspiration out as to the fact that they were able to put this event on. And it would be so easy to say, oh, you won't do that, you can't do that, it's too late, you're never going to achieve that. I'd hate to think how many sleepless nights and everything else, and I'm sure it went like this on a roller coaster. But actually the other thing they taught was, when you've got your goal in mind and you know what that is and that why, even when the roller coaster might be at the bottom and you really think nothing else, as long as you've got this vision in place, you will come back up again. But you have to keep that in. It is a vision for a reason.
Okay, great. So lots of learning there for the audience.
Oh, there were so many. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. And what I always like to do at this point, just before we finished, is to give you a suggestion of how you could use that story when you're speaking. And bearing in mind, my whole thing is about finding what I call a cliffhanging moment,
Yeah.
your story to start, rather than, you know, obviously I asked you to tell the story, but saying 3 weeks ago, I would start at that point where you decided to go for the VIP ticket.
Yeah.
Because that was the kind of the turning point, in a sense, wasn't it?
So what would be that sort of line? I suppose it's that line of, I pressed the buy button.
Imagine the moment, or you could go general ticket or VIP.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm considering investing myself in a program that could change my life, or something like that, you know, whatever it is. But yeah, it would be just that moment, because it's just something to get the audience thinking, oh, what's going to come next? I need to listen to this. So just that thing, general ticket or VIP. That's it. That would be your open words. But
you always make it sound so simple, Rachel. When you why did I not think of that? That's why you're an expert.
You were telling the story, I'm listening, that's why.
Okay, thank you.
Absolute pleasure to have you on here today, Debbie. How can people find you, connect with you, and so on, if they want to get in touch and find out more about any of the 3 businesses that you've
I've got an email account, debbieatkinsfitness@gmail.com. So email is great. The other one is that I will, since the weekend, my Instagram account, which is called Debbie Atkins Group. So that's ATKINS Groups. That will be coming very shortly, more active rather than just 2 or 3 posts. So following on Instagram, that would be lovely. But an email, fantastic. So
and you're on Facebook and you're on LinkedIn as well, aren't you?
Yes, Facebook, yes, as yes, Debbie Atkins, or as from the Athena Network, Reading and Henley. So yes, there are sort of various different modes. Well, contact Rachel.
And by all means, once this is up and you see it on the page, put your contact details in.
I can, because actually I have got a landing page, and I haven't got the full link at the moment. So again, that goes down to perfectionism. I'm still thinking, well, I need to tweak this, and I need to tweak that. Actually, I just need to get it out there.
You can perfect it later.
Yes.
Absolutely. Debbie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And feel free to get in touch with Debbie and ask her any questions. And if you would like to come on one of these story lives, I'm scheduling now into 2021, then please get in touch. And thanks for joining us.